folks, it's Sarah here, and it's the end of week 2, so I'm just going to do my quick update for the end of the week, this week's prep. Now, hope you can hear this. I was going to do this from the Australian Open. I was actually going to go and see if I could get into the ground, but there's absolutely queues of miles long. I just can't get in. It's such a beautiful day here. So I'm actually at Federation Square. And it's actually, we've got a really cool setup here. We've got grass, and we've got deck chairs, and we've got bean bags, and we've got a massive big screen. So I'll just turn around and give you a quick look at what we've got going here. So hold on. So there's the big screen. There's the beautiful Melbourne. There's the Eureka Tower. It's such a stunning day. So you can see all the deck chairs and the bean bags. People enjoying the sun everywhere. Anyway, so I'll just leave it there, and I'll go find somewhere a little bit quieter and tell you where we're at with my prep. There's even a crazy golf, and the golf might be crazy, but so are the crowds. It's absolutely packed in there. I don't know if we can see this, but oh my god, this is just insane. Don't know if you can see all that, but look, every single tee is packed. Don't think I'll be queuing to do that just yet. Anyway, I'm just going to find somewhere quiet. Oh my god, there's a free viewing area because I've got a big screen, and I don't know if you can just see this behind me. So that's a free viewing area, and you don't need a ticket to go up there. So I thought, well, I'll go and pop up there and I'll go watch a bit of Djokovic. But guess what? Because I've got my bike helmet attached to my bag, they won't let me out there. I've got to go and check my helmet into a cloakroom because it's a dangerous weapon. Can you believe it? This journey to the Australian Open is really not planning out as very well at the moment. Anyway, so I'm just going to go down by the river. I think that's just going to be easiest. I'll talk to you in a sec. Alright, I finally found somewhere quiet to, sort of relatively quiet, to sit down and do my check-in and tell you where I'm at the end of this week, week 2 of my prep. And this week I had a bit of a shock when I found out that the competition that I'm aiming for is in June and not August. Now that means instead of having 30 weeks to prepare, I now only have 22. And given the fact that I've got about sort of 13 or 14 kilos to get off me, about 12, that's going to be a bit of a big ask. And look, I'm not saying no or anything like that. So I'm still going to do all my process, follow my process, because that's just what you need to do. You know, sort of trust your process and keep going. So look, that was a bit of a nasty shock, but as a result of that, I really kicked up training an extra notch or 2 this week. I didn't change my diet this week, so I'm on the same amount of calories as last week, so 1750 with a 60-30-10 split, so I've kept that the same, but I have kicked up my training an extra notch. And what does that mean? Well, generally what I do, instead of sort of adding extra sort of cardio sessions or anything like that, I try and build the intensity within my training. So the way I train is generally is supersets, so I do sort of 3 or 4 supersets, sort of 3 or 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps with all sorts of intensifying techniques such as drop sets, rest pause, eccentric focus, that kind of stuff. So all sorts of intensifiers within the sets. And then what I do, instead of having my sort of 2 minutes just sort of sitting down and resting, I build in active rests. So that might look like 30 seconds of kettlebell swings, or 30 seconds of squat jumps, or 30 seconds of battle ropes, or sled pushes, functional kind of metabolic conditioning training as well. So I'll do my superset, and then I'll do 30 seconds of a much more intense sort of functional and metabolic training as well. And that really cranks up your heart rate. So not only does it boost the intensity, it cranks up your heart rate, and that's how I get additional fat burning effects within my training without having to do hours of extra sort of cardio. So that's what I did this week, and so I added the active rest with in the first 2 supersets. So that's an additional sort of 3 minutes of work. So it's an additional 3 minutes of work within my training session, and it's all high intensity work. So you do get sort of additional fat burning benefits. So training's kicked into a higher gear this week, and next week I'll keep doing the same, but this week what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to change my diet. I am going to bring my diet in a little bit. I'm going to slice off. I've been on I don't usually really track my food in any great detail, but because I'm doing the keto and I'm not familiar with it, I haven't done it for such a long time, I'm actually tracking everything that I'm doing. I'm tracking every sort of calorie and macro and all the whole lot, so that I know exactly where I am and making sure that I'm hitting that sort of 60-30-10 split. And what it's actually coming out as most days is I seem to be hitting about sort of 40 to 45 grams of carbs instead of my target 30. And most days I'm getting a sort of about 58% fat, not the 60. So look, I need to sort of adjust that a little bit. But what I did find that really surprised me, and this is something that you probably ought to look at doing. You know, if you're not coming in as you expect, and you swear blind that you're checking everything, you're tracking everything, you're absolutely bang on and all the rest of it, check your supplements. Okay, supplements are a really sneaky source of extra calories. Now I have my protein powder after my workout, and that's all tracked. I also have sort of 5 grams of fish oil a day, and I track that. I also have branched chain amino acids, and I specifically pick a 0-calorie one. So those are all good. But what I have been doing as well is because with the keto diet, because the fats are so high in calories, I'm not getting the volume of food that I usually do. So I am sort of finding that I'm getting a bit hungry. I'm not getting cravings or anything like that, but I am finding I'm getting a little bit hungry because with my high protein, low carb diet, I absolutely pile up the amount of vegetables I eat. So I really load up on vegetables and go super high volume, like I'm eating tons of food. But because fats are so intense in calories and I'm having to eat so much fat, I can't get the volume of food. So I'm actually finding, like I say, I'm getting hungry. And by the end of the day, I'm kind of running out of, I'm really trying to figure out how I can get my fat macros in. So sort of for dinner, I've been having like a boiled egg and a teaspoon of nut butter and half a fried leek or something stupid like that, because I've just run out of calories. So this is something that I'm really not used to. And then, I thought, well, this is ridiculous. So I thought, well, I'm not getting the nutrition I need. I'm all about the micros. I focus on the micros. I focus on making sure I get my vitamins and minerals absolutely bang on, because once you focus on the macros will take care of themselves, okay? And I don't think, like a lot of people who just focus on your protein, fats and carbs, they kind of miss the underlying opportunity to optimize your health by focusing on the micros. And this is why I always have so many vegetables in my diet, so that I can really optimize my nutrition. And this is why that I always choose the most nutrient efficient foods. So like, for example, I could have, if I had 10 grams of carbs a day, for example, now I could have that through rice, I could have it through oats, I could have it through quinoa. Now I'd choose the quinoa every single time because the nutrient value of the quinoa is vastly superior to both oats and the rice. So yes, I'm still getting my 10 grams of carbs, but the additional nutrition I'm getting as well outweighs the other two sources. So this is what I do with my food, and this is how I think I stay so lean for so long and do it so relatively easily, is because I'm always focusing on absolutely optimizing my underlying nutrition. So that being said, with the keto diet, I'm finding because the fats are so high, I'm not getting the volume of foods that I usually want to eat. So what I started doing is I've been taking super green powder, something like chlorella, spirulina, those kinds of things, very, very simple. And I've also found some really nice mushroom powders. So there's I think one of them's a lion's made mushroom, which is supposed to boost your energy and that kind of stuff. And then another one is reishi mushroom, which I think is supposed to sort of boost your brain power or something like. Anyway, look, I thought I'd give them a go. And I'm also sort of taking gelatin for sort of collagen and actually it improves sleep, did you know? So there you go, I only found that out today as well. So I've taken sort of collagen as well to improve, sort of, I don't know why I'm taking collagen actually. It helps your skin, that's right, it helps your skin. So I'm taking collagen for the skin, and I did find out that it improves sleep. Anyway, so then I went, well, I better just check these. So I looked at the backs of the packets of these things. So I'm only having a teaspoon of the green powder, a teaspoon of each of the mushroom powders, and a teaspoon of the gelatin. And all of a sudden I found that it's adding about 10 grams of carbs and an extra 70 or 80 calories. And I'm like, oh crap. So my brilliant idea at trying to optimize health and all of these nutrition and vitamins and minerals and stuff is actually all of a sudden costing me about an extra 70 or 80 grams, 70 or 80 calories on top of what I'm already doing. Now, that's a bit of a shock. I went, oh crap. So as a result, I've had to drop my food even further. So of course I'm getting hungrier. So this is not good. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'll just finish off these powders, and then that straight away will drop my food intake down by about 70 or 80 calories. So there's my food cut. So all I have to do is cut out the powders. So the lesson there really is check your supplements, because they can be an incredibly sneaky source of calories. You just think, you look at one of them, each of them individually, it might just be 2 or 3 grams or something. It might just sort of say 34 kilojoules, and you go, oh yeah, no, that's nothing. That's only that. Well, that's only 3 calories, whatever, like that. But when you're 3 calories and you're 6 calories and you're 2 calories and you're 8 calories, it all adds up. So go check your supplements with a fine tooth comb if you're not coming in as you expect, and if they are unexpectedly high in calories, try and find an alternative substitute. So that's lesson 1. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about is on the keto diet is quality of food, and again this feeds into my whole philosophy of optimizing your micronutrients, focusing on the micros. Your food sources on keto really, really matter. Keto is not a license just to go out and eat cream and bacon and fat of any kind of description, not at all. And that's actually how the Atkins diet got a really bad rap, is because people just went, yeah, I can go and eat all the bacon and cream that I want, it's fantastic, I love it. No, pick your fat sources very, very wisely, and I go for the highest quality foods I possibly can, so sort of monounsaturated fats, and particularly sort of avocados, olive oil, those 2 things, and I go for sort of raw, organic, nuts as fresh as possible, because nuts can go rancid quite easily. I go for organic grass-fed butter and organic refined coconut oil. So those are the fats that I have, and coconut. I do have coconut cream. I do have coconut yogurt, just because I can't eat dairy. But I don't go for cheap polyunsaturated vegetable oils and canola oils, because those are actually inflammatory. They're very, very high in omega-6s, and typical Western diets are very imbalanced with your omega-6, omega-3 ratio. Now, omega-3s are anti-inflammatory fats, omega-6 are inflammatory fats. Okay, and when your omega-6, omega-3 ratio is off, and it should ideally be about 3 ratio 3 omega-6 to 1 omega-3, when that's off, and most Western diets, it's usually about it typically comes out as about 20, a ratio of 20 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. This is why you get a lot of inflammatory diseases in Western societies. It's because of this omega-3, omega-6 imbalance. So I always aim for monounsaturated fats and saturated fats, because both of those are anti-inflammatory, or not inflammatory, I should say. So I do not go for cheap vegetables, sunflower, canola oils. I do not have those at all, because they are inflammatory, and if you have inflammation, that can also prevent weight loss. So be careful of your fat sources and your food sources. Now, with meat, I have, I did say before that I don't go for sort of the chicken breast, because it's got too much protein in it and not enough fat. So I have had to sort of kind of drop the quality down to sort of, the chicken thighs or chicken drumsticks, just because they are a fattier meat. But I do go for fattier fishes. So I've been eating mackerel and salmon. Tuna's not fatty enough, unfortunately, which is a shame, because I do love tuna. Sardines are also great. but avocados are really, really awesome, and eggs, of course. So be careful with your sources sources of food, and dark green vegetables really are your friend on keto, because a lot of them are actually negative carbs. Now what I mean by that is that they actually have more fiber than carbs. So for example, broccoli, for sort of 50 grams of broccoli, you'll only have 0.2 grams of carbs, but you'll have 1.8 grams of fiber. So they're actually negative carbs. Same thing with green beans, same thing with cauliflower and asparagus, actually. So those really are your absolute friends on the keto diet, because of course what counts in your carb amount, what counts with keto is your net carbs. So that's pretty much your carbohydrate value minus your fiber. So if you can keep fiber high, you'll actually have a lower net carb thing. So broccoli, asparagus, green beans, zucchini, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, those really are your friends on a keto diet. So key tips for a keto diet: you must be careful of the sources of your food. It does matter. It's not an all-out license just to go and eat bacon and cream, okay, as some people may think that they can do. Okay, so food sources do matter. So that's really my take on the keto diet today, and also a little update on my training. I actually don't think I've come in, again, haven't been on the scales, I don't think I've come in, but I have had 2 Uber drivers today both say to me, "Oh, you look pretty buff, you must work out a lot." So maybe I'm starting to show something. Anyway, I'll put up some pictures as before. I'll do the front pose, my left and right side poses, and I'll actually put the back pose in this week. So I'll put up the photographs like I did last week to see, just to compare, and that's pretty much it really. But next week what I will do is I will just shave my calories a little bit, and I will keep on focusing on adding intensifiers within my workout, so the active rest within my workout. So that's where we are right now. I hope you're having a lovely weekend. I'm going to see if I can I'm going to go and check my helmet into the cloakroom, because it's such a dangerous weapon, and go and watch Novak Djokovic on the big screen in the sun. All right, you have a lovely weekend, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.